everyone, and welcome back to episode 3 of Comfort Zone Correction, the wrap-up lessons. In this episode, we're continuing with our American Dream success story, and we're going to dive deeper into how Mr. Brown was able to expand his business through trade shows. Before we jump into the chapter, can you guys kind of explain just the process that you used to go through as being part of the trade shows and maybe what you did to prep for the events, or basically give us like an idea of your personal experiences in the process?
A lot of the business that is done in America, doesn't matter what industry you go, in order for you to get exposure or to get access to information, because the Americas are quite a vast psychographics of people. The South is different from the Northeast. The Northeast is different from the West Coast. The West Coast is different from the Midwest. The Midwest is different from cowboy country.
Right.
So in order for you to be able to understand the markets that you're dealing with without having to go to each market individually, I believe the trade shows has been a instrumental factor in growing small and young businesses overall. What happens is in these trade shows is that either you get invited or either there are organizations that you can be members of that hold these events together.
Mm-hmm.
They create a marketplace in such a way where buyers and sellers and educators and performers or influencers and several those type of expertise can be found under one roof. So in order for preparation, it's just not what you do at the trade show. If you expect to just show up at the trade show and expect to write a lot of business, those days are gone. The preparation for the trade show has to be year-round, because people, when they come to the trade show, that's the time when they're going to look for getting business done. And only in their free time, they are going to be able to explore for new things or new ideas and things like that. And in order for you to be on top of their mind is the continuous ramping up of the awareness of your business year-round. But at the same time, they're going to be overwhelmed when they come to the trade show, because everybody's going to be jumping and bouncing on them.
Mm-hmm.
And there are always going to be opportunities to be unique and to be different than your competition or other people out there. And to answer your question about preparation, it's like, think of it as an exam. You can prepare and revise and go through your textbooks and theory and know all your material. And you can just know that you know everything that you need to know about the knowledge that you can acquire theoretically. And then comes performance day. That's the day where you have to be able to find a way to share that knowledge. And that can only happen is by breaking the ice, is by saying hello, is by greeting people, is by putting yourself out there. And I think people feel the energy. When you say hi, they know if it's a happy hi or a sad hi. When you hug them, they feel your energy. Like, when you just extend your arm to shake your hand, they feel the energy. And things just like, it is that moment that gives you that opportunity of window that allows you to show them that you're more than just a good person. You're a good company to deal with. You know your knowledge, you know your material.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we can compare it with many similarities, like an actor. The actor knows his lines, but when it's time to shoot, is the actor in the character, and is the actor flowing with the character? And the lines can be sometimes kind of adjusted. It doesn't have to be verbatim. But the main thing is that, are you ready to perform?
So Chance for Dance was like the perfect chapter to start off with for the trade shows, because that's exactly what you're doing. You're kind of jumping at the chance to dance with anyone who comes near the booth. You have infinite potential to take that first step forward. And this chapter was the first step forward in a lot of ways for Mr. Brown into this particular buying group. And I wanted to ask you, Mr. Brown, can you give us kind of a window of time back into those days when you were first breaking into different buying groups and just how you got into different buying groups?
Yes. Uh, See, the buying group is like a private club.
Mm.
Everybody is not allowed, like every supplier is not allowed to be in that group. In other words, you have to go through the rigorous process of selection, what they call as the review committee.
Mm-hmm.
And the review committee is going to look at your product, and you have to justify as to why they need you in the buying group. In other words, you have to prove to them that you are going to contribute to the growth of that group, which is very important and very difficult. So, in other words, you got to have a different product to support the growth of their group and the people who are part of the members, who are the members of that group. So, we applied for it, and we had to convince the review committee and the head of the review committee that, something, this is what we can offer you, and this is how we can contribute to the growth of the business of the members. And after all this said and done, they want to make sure that we are definitely going to contribute. They must be, they must have gone through all the checks and the balances to make sure that we will definitely contribute. And once they are confident, they will invite you to be part of that group. So we were lucky enough to be invited, to be chosen, and to be part of the group.
Were your nerves like going crazy, or you guys went in like ready to roll?
See, when you're there in the very first day, the first show in the new group, you don't know what you can expect even because you don't know anyone. Basically, you absolutely don't know anybody like me coming from country like India, coming to America, not knowing what I'm going to do. It's like a different world altogether. And in other words, you have to do something different to win all those customers.
And plus, all the customers are from like all over the world too, right?
Oh yeah, they are from, we had customers coming from Australia, some customers came from Europe, some customers coming from different parts of the United States and Canada. And so, you want to make sure that you are ready to go all out. And all our team members were really, really excited to be part of the group. And I think, Kao, that was your first show, right, in Reno, Nevada?
Yes, that's right. It was my first show.
And Mr. Brown, when you would go to the different trade shows, I know you would get there early. Was that before your whole team, or as a team you would go early and explore the town and stuff, or that was just a personal thing you would do?
Me personally, I will always make sure that I go 2-3 days ahead of the game.
Oh, 2 to 3 days.
Like 2 to 3 days.
Oh, okay.
Because, see, you are so much stressed out in the city. So you want to unclog all the arteries, you want to detox everything, and you want to just come prepared with the full energy. And then on the top of that, what we did, before the trade show starts, we will see who are the potential customers in those areas. And we'll call them, hey, you know what? We are coming there at the trade show, and we want to shake your hand, and we want to have a cup of coffee with you. Please allow us to spare about 5-10 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And this is besides traveling. We will definitely meet some of those prospective customers whom we have never done business with. So it was not just traveling and just enjoying yourself for 3 days or 4 days or 2 days, and but so in other words, we were combining the pleasure with the business. If you meet, let's say, about 2 or 3 customers a day, and of course not even to sell, just to say hello and to initiate that conversation to start the business in the future. So even if you meet, let's say, 3 customers, and in about 3 days you're meeting about 9 to 10 customers. 2 days you're meeting about 5 to 6 customers, and these are all prospective customers. And even from those 9 customers or 10 customers or 5 customers, you are successful in breaking the ice even with 10% or even 20% of those prospective customers. And you know what? That's a great ratio. And, to me, it's a great accomplishment, which those customers you never had before, you meet them. So the pleasure and the quality and the business went side by side before the ratio started.
And is there something that you did? Because I know by the end of especially if you're there 3 days early, that you must be pretty burnt out by day 7 or day 8 or day 10 even. I think some of these are even like a week long. So what do you do? What is it that you guys do to kind of keep your energy up?
As far as I'm concerned, personally being, I start my day early, and by 7 o'clock, I'm going to be on the breakfast table with my team. Or anybody wants to, for example, Cow say, let's have breakfast together. So me, Cow, and the team members are going to be on the breakfast table for at least minimum 1 to 1.5 hours. And once that breakfast is over in the morning, we are ready to go all out. We are ready to go. Now,
I think that's very important. It's a matter of culture. Mr. Brown had created this culture where we all eat together. And because of the trade shows, lunch was always kind of, you don't know if you're going to get lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes it's just a slice of pizza,
Mm-hmm.
So Mr. Brown really made sure that we had this discipline where we could wake up earlier and still be able to have breakfast together, enjoy the time together, enjoy morning coffee, get a kickstart, and we're there, focused and starting our day with a full belly, because you can never go to a war without an empty stomach, with an empty stomach.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one culture. And then he also believed the same thing. When we were done through the rest of the day, the team has been exhausted. So he would always make sure that we all tried to have dinner together. So I definitely think that is a cultural thing. And it was a part of the discipline and the structure that he had created. It's not that everybody was, it wasn't like it was mandatory, but it was just that, it was just fun to do that and to listen to Mr. Brown and to share experiences and things that we go through. And just like, it was fun, and then it goes beyond business when you do that, when you break bread together.
You see, every day at the trade show, things don't go smooth, and you go through some of the challenges, and you can discuss the challenges during the trade show that is going on. Let's say from 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock or 5:30 or 6 o'clock. So the best part of having a breakfast together or dinner together is to share those challenges that everybody has gone through and come at a solution that if any of the team members go through the similar problems the following day or the following day or the following day, at least they know how to address that particular issue. So to me, it was very important for us to be together either for breakfast or for dinner together.
And I like that, Kaushal, you use the word culture. That's a great way to describe it. And we talk about it in some of our wrap-up lessons too, how we say how to act generously whenever you can and returns will multiply, and to use every resource at your disposal to give and give and give. And I know we aren't being literal, as in don't give away all your merchandise for free, but can you guys give examples of maybe somewhere that you gave that extra service that made an impact, or something that you guys used to do within your culture that you used to do at trade shows?
Let me start with this particular chapter, chance paid answer. I went to casinos before the trade show opened. While I was going through this old casino, which must be over about maybe 50, 60 years old, casino right in the area. I don't even remember the name of the town. But this is where the casino and all the gambling started. And while I was walking through that particular casino, I happened to find a coin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I thought somebody must have dropped some money, so I just pulled up and I said, this seems to be something, doesn't look like money. So I went to the dealer and I said, listen, hey, what is this? So he said, one of the souvenir coins. And I said, and I like to keep this if it is okay with you. He said, okay. And just took the coin, I kept it in my pocket because I enjoyed looking at the coin, and that was a beautiful coin.
Mm-hmm.
We always believe for whatever reason we want to share, because, sharing is always good. It cements the bond. And here I am, coming back to the trade show. And if you go through this particular chapter, on the last day before the trade show was getting over, this is like, I think the trade show is getting over at 4 o'clock, and it was about, almost about 4 o'clock, and the couple was walking through the aisle, and the boy and the girl was walking right behind the parents. And I don't know what occurred. My hand was in my pocket, and I happened to get that coin, and I gave just the coin to that boy. Hey, young man, this is for you. I mean, it just occurred to give. I mean, I had no intention of expecting anything in return. I said, I just wanted to give it.
Mm-hmm.
And they loved it. The sister loved it, the brother loved it, and they ran to the parents. And before we realized, the whole family was at the book. This is almost after the closing. And this was not even expected. I just did it out of, as you say, we just want to share and give. And I just gave. And the rest is the history. If you go through this chapter, you'll find that we are a new customer. We did tremendous business with the customer, and we did very well with this customer. So as Carl said, the culture, I mean, every culture says to share. It doesn't matter which culture. Every culture say, hey, share, and the return is going to multiply. And this is a classic example in this particular book, Charles Pedance, that by sharing, giving, the returns multiply, and definitely return multiple times.
Oh, I agree with you, Mr. Brown. I think sharing is one of the hardest things that one has to integrate in the culture, especially when you are doing business. Because in business, the whole mentality is, what is in it for me? The profit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we forget to be authentic. And that's where we forget to be genuine and true to ourselves, and what we truly, really at the core, and why we are doing this. And I would like to go back to this chapter, because in this chapter, if you notice, there was no monetary gain that was going to come, or at least you would never think that directly a monetary gain would come by just giving a coin to a young boy who's just passing through.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a gesture of kindness or love, or to make that boy feel special or adventure. I mean, if I was a little boy passing through a corner, I'd be like, whoa, this is like Indiana Jones movie,
Yeah, especially when you're at a trading hall where it's like, don't touch anything, and then somebody hands you something.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is exactly what it is. I think that's what the deeper symbolism behind this chapter is, that it could be business, it could be anything. At the end of the day, the core of the reason why you're doing something has to come from a good place. It has to be something that you're willing to live. And I think that's a team saw that in Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown was just like that. He believed in giving and giving and giving without expecting anything in return, because it just made him happy to give. He watched. Nobody could take advantage of him or exploit him, because he was smart enough to know that,
Mm-hmm.
But he would always give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and he would always give them the chance to be like, okay, I'm going to give once, I'm going to give twice, I'm going to give thrice, no problem. But at the same time, when you see that the other person starts exploiting you, then you stop. That doesn't mean that you're unkind. It's just that that person is taking advantage of your good nature. So you don't have to change for somebody, but you can at least decide who deserves it, if that makes any sense.
Oh, definitely.
Let me add a little humor to the discussion right now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine you come to my house to have dinner with me. I feed you, and I feed you, and I feed you, and I feed you. Though you say, oh, I'm full. No, no, you got to eat this. I'm full, you got to eat this. So I keep on feeding you and feeding you and feeding you. And you reach a point. You reach a point when you're so much loaded up with the food. And I keep on giving more food, keep on giving more food. You burp so loud. That loud burp is the return of what I'm giving you. So I mean, it's a little funny, but the same thing applies.
It's the best compliment to the chef.
Right.
The best compliment to the chef is when his audience or his guest burps.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, there are certain cultures in India, for example. If you go to their house for dinner, I'm talking about in the countryside, not in the big cities like Mumbai or Delhi, in smaller towns. If you go to their house for dinner, they will feed you till you drop. And if you don't burp, that means you're still hungry and you got to eat more. When you burp, that means, you're fully satisfied and you enjoy the food and you compliment the chef. Hey, you know what? You've done a great job. So burping is not bad, so long as it is in a good, it's in a good sense.
Mm-hmm. And then the more food that you give to, they give to other people because they will pass it on. They're like, I can't take any more, but here, let me pass it on. And then they pass it on, and then they pass it on.
Yeah, definitely. So the bottom line is the sharing and giving. What we call as an art of giving and art of sharing. The more you share, the more you give, the returns always multiply because, the order.
Sorry, I'm didn't mean to interrupt Mr. Brown, but please hold that thought. I just wanted to interject one point here, that sharing and giving, what he's talking also, the way it is applied in business, is, let's say there is a customer, there's a retail store that requires your support. Let me give you an example, is that let's say somebody is going through a divorce. Very realistic example. This happened. We are talking about true unfiltered stories. So let me tell you a classic example. There was one store that was going through his challenge and he was strapped for cash. He called us. At the end of the day, everything is people business, right? Everybody is people. He called us. He told us, this is what's going on. I need your help. Would you please support us? At that point, if you're going to take the chance and you're going to take the decision to support that guy, then you're giving, because you're giving them goods, you're giving them the support to keep their business running, life sustainable, and for him to have the power of money, which his business is going to generate, to fight off this energy that they're trying to get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's giving. That is what I wanted to say, that it can be looked at in many different ways. People call us for support. People call us for love. People just want to talk sometimes. Mr. Brown would get phone calls at 7 a.m. in the morning and somebody would just talk about the challenges that they're facing with family and having family in the business. And the gift of your time and the gift of your just listening without judging is a way of giving.
Mm-hmm.
And there are many ways to look at it. And that's just, at the end of the day, comes down to what principles you stand by. What are your thought processes? How do you live your life and run the business? Is business part of your life, or is your life part of the business? So there's a very different way of looking at this, and I'll bow to Mr. Brown now. But that I wanted to put that in there, that we're talking about different symbolisms, but in business, these are the real life scenarios where I have seen Mr. Brown give, and expect nothing in return.
Kau, you are reminding me of another story. This is what happened to us in Ohio, not too far from you.
Oh, yeah?
In the town called Bowling Green.
Oh, okay.
And the Bowling Green is a university town. So the young couple, starting of their life, they bought the business from, the retiring people. And they met us in one of the trade shows. And they met us, they sit down with us and they said, listen, we are buying the business from, I don't remember the couple's name, but XYZ, they're retiring. And we will not have money to pay you. They discuss the things with me. You always get some sort of a vibrations from the other person. And the vibration many times talks a lot about the character and the personality of that individual. The wife said that and this is like when I say wife, she must be in her late 20s, early 30s at that time probably, and the other one must be around the same age. They said, listen, if you can help us, it'll be really great, and we'll keep on paying you as the time goes, and we are going to build a business and we'll buy from you only. He said, no problem. We started supporting them, and they never disappointed us. And the business grew to such an extent, they moved to a much more bigger location. They bought more merchandise from us. And every time we meet them, they will buy more from us and they will pay us. And they did not forget us. The first day when they met us, you know what? You supported us, you helped us, you gave us everything, not even expecting anything in return. And we are thankful to you. And not only that, in that mind group, they told about our business, our philosophy, and the way we did business with them. They brought more customers to buy from us. That shows that by giving, you can multiply the business. And this is a true example of what happened.
It just shows that luck comes in many forms. And in this particular chapter, it was a coin. But have you guys also had any other random items become lucky for you while doing business? Do you have like a lucky pen or something you bring to everywhere? I know you have, Kaushal, you guys have the little elephants that bring you luck.
The elephant is the logo of our company. He's our mascot.
Yeah.
For me, one of my lucky person was Mary Ann from Tennessee. She came to my place in New York for the first time, going back about, I don't know, what, 20 or 30 years ago, first time. And she bought for me and she invited me to come to Tennessee. And guess what? She opened up for me the whole state of Tennessee.
Wow.
And we must have added over a few hundred customers. So think about if we did not have Marianne coming to my place and buy from me. So to me, a coin was one of the lucky items for us in the chance for dance. But Marianne also was an instrumental factor in me opening up the whole state of Tennessee to grow business over there.
She gave you the opportunity to chance to dance with Tennessee.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. See, money is very important for us. Money is absolutely important. Without money, you cannot win, especially in business. But remember, they always try to give without expecting to get anything. And the other person is going to notice that you are there to help him to grow, and you are telling him that this is the way you are going to help him to grow the business. Like, say today there is multi-billion-dollar companies, what they are doing. Think about any company. Think about Microsoft. Think about Google. Think about all those companies. Think about IBM. I mean, their people are telling the customers or the prospective customers that, this is what we will give, and this is how we are going to grow your business. So we are doing it on a small scale, but these multi-billion-dollar companies are doing it on the same scale. In other words, they are also giving. They are giving. They are telling those prospective customers and those customers that we will do this for you to grow your business. So the bottom line is always remember that give, and give, the returns will multiply. And
if you feel like you were inspired today, please leave us a like, a comment. Feel free to ask us any questions that you may have. We're here to help. In our next episode, we're going to be talking about the importance of getting up and taking advantage of any opportunity that gets presented to you. So make sure you follow us on social media for more weekly inspiration. You'll find all of our links down below, as well as a link to our book. It's packed full of knowledge that you can integrate into your daily routines to help you take that first step out of your comfort zone and we are available on Amazon in Audible, Kindle, and paperback. And we will see you in the next episode.